On June 27th, Justice Anthony M. Kennedy announced his retirement from the U.S. Supreme Court. President Donald Trump has nominated Judge Brett Kavanaugh as Kennedy's potential replacement. WUVA News asked 3 UVA legal scholars about how a Kavanaugh confirmation might alter the court's direction, specifically the Roe v. Wade decision of 1973.
It is possible, if and probably when Judge Kavanaugh is confirmed to the Supreme Court and become an associate justice, they're taking Justice Kennedy's place, that abortion could be illegal in almost half of the states.
I think the real hope for the most extreme of the pro-life people is that the court will say the fetus is a constitutional person entitled to life, and the Constitution outlaws abortion. I don't think they're going to go there. I think more likely they'll just whittle it away.
Now, whether the court decides to actually reverse Roe versus Wade wholesale or whether they just cut back on Roe versus Wade, I think is the question. The 5-justice majority will be more sympathetic to pretty severe restrictions on Roe versus Wade.
The conservatives in the court have been saying for 45 years now, the Constitution doesn't say anything about this. It should be left to the people. They can be pretty shameless sometimes about walking away from their previous statements. I don't think they're going to walk away from that one.
I think Judge Kavanaugh is likely to be someone who is skeptical of Roe versus Wade.
Interestingly enough, he has answered a question when he was being interrogated by the Senate for his position on the Court of Appeals that Roe v. Wade is settled law, and indicated that he might uphold it. Yet that's what most of these judges will say. Oh, this is settled law, and it is a part of the tradition of justices and courts to uphold their precedent so that the law isn't changing all the time. So first of all, you have Roe v. Wade that creates a right to abortion under a right of privacy and due process for women. Then you have some modifications of that right through a case from 1992 called the Casey case. After the Casey case, the test was not where the woman was in her pregnancy, but whether any limitations on the right to abortion by states or the federal government created what was called an undue burden for a woman seeking an abortion. Without even Roe being overturned, if Casey's overturned and there's a stricter test placed on the access to abortion, that it begins to chip away at Roe.
What you would see is a number of states which have pretty conservative legislatures putting restrictions on clinics in such a way that makes it impossible for them to operate.
You know, in Whole Women's Health v. Hellerstedt 2 years ago, a pair of Texas regulations shut down 33 out of 40 abortion clinics, and there were 4 votes to say that's not a substantial burden. All right, well, now there'll be 5.
I think Justice Kavanaugh, though he will have been a clerk to Justice Kennedy and sort of an acolyte of Justice Kennedy, I don't think is as moderate as Justice Kennedy. If he saw the opportunity to overturn Roe v. Wade, he might do it.